I wanted to share a story about revision and exam pressure around trying hard in an unhelpful way. So when I was doing my GCSEs, and I think it was, I was studying the Industrial Revolution, which meant I had to memorize lots of dates and when things happened. And I knew that words and remembering things was really hard for me. So I thought, well, I've got to work triple hard, because every time I had to write essays out, I had to write them out like 4 or 5 times. This is before computers, so everything was handwritten. And I prepared myself for just having to kind of essentially cram in those dates so that I could remember them for the tests. And what I literally remember taking a page of the Industrial Revolution and sitting down and trying to read it. I don't remember if I was trying 100 times or 40 times, but I reread the page over and over and over again. Now, what I didn't know about my mind at that time is before I even picked up the book to read it, I was tense and worried. My feeling was worried about how I would do. I had feelings about not being very clever or that it was going to be hard. So what that did was it really kind of cluttered me up. And every time I read the page, I just couldn't seem to remember any of the dates. So I'd read it again and I'd try to remember the dates and nothing seemed to go in. So here's the analogy I want to give about that. So what I've learned since about that is that our head or mind is like a water bottle. And the thinking we have in the moment, depending on how much thought we're having, is how much water we have in our mind. So if this was my mind on an average day and I turn up to school and I'm thinking, oh, I've got quite a lot to do, or I've got English or something that I think is a little bit hard, so I'll probably have like this much water in my water bottle in my head, because the water is thought. And then in the subjects that I really loved, like art or design, I didn't have any thoughts about whether I would do very well, and it just didn't matter. It was kind of like I was looking forward to turning up and learning, so I didn't have any extra thoughts. So my water bottle was down here. It was down here when I was doing those subjects. So I learned really well. Now, when I sat down to read that text about the Industrial Revolution, I didn't realize I was already, oh, you're not going to do well, Leela. What if it doesn't go well? What if you don't remember on the exam? How are you going to remember this? You've got to try harder. Remember the last time. And so I was kind of here trying to read the information to memorize it. But if what I was trying to read was new information, was essentially water, look how much room was there. There was no room for me to take any more information in because I was already massively filled up. And that's why I couldn't take it in. Not because I was unsmart or that I didn't have an ability to remember anything. It's because I showed up to here. I showed up here every time I thought, oh God, I'm not good at memory. So I would fill up, be really tense and then try and remember. Nobody remembers well when they're here. No one. And so what I've learned since is that when we have less in our water bottle, we have an ability to take in so much more and get kind of really kind of affected by what we're hearing and reading and seeing. And so I found that the subjects that students like or are confident in, they show up because they don't feel like they need to worry. So as a result, when the teacher tells them anything or they're shown a slide or a movie, there's just all this room for you to take in new thought and really learn in a really useful way.